Contrary to what you may have heard, the world does not belong to the dreamers. The world belongs to the action takers. Now, I'm a big believer in dreaming. That's important, but it's only the foundation. It's the first step. You don't get to the finish line of any goal, any dream, unless you take action. The world belongs not to the dreamers. The world belongs to the action takers. Hi, my name is Mark Gibson and welcome back to 1 Million Cats, where we are building a global community of 1 million curious, audacious, tenacious people who want to go do something big. Okay, so way back in 1995 and 1997, I wrote these two books. They're designed for competitive team gymnasts. And I wrote these books because I couldn't find them anywhere. I wanted to be able to hand this book to my kids, but I couldn't find it. So I sat down and I wrote them. Now, I wasn't an author, I wasn't a writer, but I figured somebody needed to do it, so I sat down and I did it. And I also self-published them and paid for their printing, and then got a great big motorhome and went on the road with my family, and for 7 years traveled around the country doing workshops in competitive gyms all across the US. I spoke to over 50,000 parents, coaches, and team gymnasts all across the states. At the conclusion of one of my workshops, a coach came up to me. Not just any coach though, this guy was a big deal. He was a former world champion and a former Olympic champion. Now, he picked up one of my books and he thumbed through the pages and he said, I could have written this. Now, the respectful thing for me to have done would have just kept my big mouth shut. But that's not like me. So instead, I disrespectfully said, so why didn't you? You see, on paper, this guy was way more qualified than me to write this book. He was Olympic champion, he was a world champion, he was a high-level coach, he was on the national staff. He should have written this book, but he didn't write this book. So, who was more qualified to write it? The person with all the potential, the person with the background, the person with the Olympics and the World Championships behind them, or the person who got off his butt and did something about it? Now, don't get me wrong here, this guy's no schmuck. Like I said, world champion. But when it comes to writing the book that needed to be written, that fell on me. So I go back to what I said at the start. It's not enough to dream. It's not enough to have potential. It's not enough to believe in yourself. It's not enough to have intention. The only thing that counts is taking action. Getting in there, struggling, learning, pushing yourself, making mistakes, making corrections, figuring out how to get to the end of the finish line. This is what I mean when I say the world does not belong to the dreamers. The world belongs to the action takers. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did and you want to help us grow this movement, then simply like and subscribe down below and check out these videos over here. Also, come back every week for 2 new videos. If you want to be one of the 1 million cats, that's dead simple too. Step number 1, pick a big, bold, outrageous goal that excites you, and step number 2, go do it. It's that easy. We're just trying to build a global community here of 1 million curious, audacious, tenacious people who want to go do something big.